Yeah, okay, time to live free. Plenty goals I'm achieving. Some real life topics and talking financial freedom. Mindset, soul and love, everything in between. This is Freedom Podcast. Tune in, live free. Hey, got my mindset right and I got the drive. Planning one day, no more job, no more 9 to 5. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. This is freedom. Tune in, cause it's going down. Woo!
Hi, this is Anna and welcome to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. And in this episode, I interview Sheila Keilty. Sheila empowers women to reclaim their vitality and optimal wellness. She has such an inspiring journey and story to share with us all today, and I can't wait for you to meet Sheila. So, hi Sheila, really excited for you to be on the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Great stuff. So I know we were just having a little bit of a gossip before I click record and I was letting you know what this podcast is all about. We call it the Freedom Podcast, and I have the 3 pillars, which is freedom in love, which is about self-care and self-love, freedom in money, which is financial freedom, and freedom in mind. And I say mind because it kind of fitted really with the love, money, mind, but I think mind is a lot deeper than just mindset.
Yes.
But those are the 3 pillars that have kind of given me equilibrium really in my life. And I know that you've got a fab story to share us. And I know you're doing some awesome stuff with inspiring women, helping them with kind of mind wellness. And I know you're going to tell us a little bit more about that. So how did you get to this point? Because I know you just shared with me your age, and I'm thinking, wow, I can't believe this lady is that age. Because
I'm 59 years old. On June 18th, I turned 59, born in 1962. Yes, I have a Beatles birthday too, which is very cool. I'm old enough that's something very, very cool. I share a birthday with Paul. So shout out to Paul if you're listening. But no, I've been through what we call the ringer over here. And I was going great guns in my life. I was going out there and attacking the world in my 20s and became an IT consultant. I had one of the largest woman-owned and operated IT firms in the US, and I was just going for it. And all of a sudden, everything came to a screeching halt. I was living and working in Beverly Hills. I mean, I had it all, right?
Yeah.
The 3 kids, the husband, the dog, the car, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And everything just came to a screeching halt when my spine fell apart. I got a spinal disease that caused some collapse in my spine. And I tried to keep going and I tried to keep going. And then I developed, well, I must have had it. It just kind of came out of the closet, but it was lupus and all kinds of autoimmune things. And I went in 2 very short years to living the dream, to wiping out my life savings on medical bills and ending up in an electric wheelchair and going through what is now 23 spinal surgeries and a lot of fusions, and found myself all of a sudden 3 pounds from morbidly obese. I was 262 pounds, very sick, in an electric wheelchair. My life had been wiped out. And kind of didn't know where to go from there. My doctors kind of threw up their hands and said, well, we just don't know what else to do for you. You know.
Yeah.
I was being told basically get used to it. Stop making such a fuss. Be a good girl. Go sit in the corner. Be a fat houseplant. You're making this difficult for your family, your friends, your husband, everybody. And I said, well, why do I need to be dismissed into this horrible little life in the corner? Why should I have to stay with that? And I worked on my own and found something and another thing and another thing. And I was using myself as an experiment to try, what can I do?
Yes.
And I went from nearly 30 medications. Now I'm on only 2. I've lost 122 pounds and kept it off. I'm no longer in an electric wheelchair. I still have my challenges, but I'm vertical and I'm working and have turned my life into a place where I said, I've regained a lot of freedom in my life to get back to vitality and health, wellness, emotional wellness. And I became a mind-body holistic health coach, where I knew it wasn't just about your body that you needed to fix, that it was so much more than that. So it was about mindfulness. It was about self-compassion was a big thing that I had to learn. And without all those things, it's not going to work. I mean, anybody can go look up what Kim Kardashian eats in Vogue magazine and try to imitate that diet. We've all done that, you know, especially when you're teenagers. You got Mademoiselle magazine, and you know, you did that, like you followed the daily thing, but it doesn't stick. And people go through dozens and dozens of diets in their lives, and diets don't work. So I wanted to teach other people to do what I did, to get the freedom from dieting, to stop dieting, to stop beating myself up, to stop starving myself and treating myself badly, and really kind of turn life around. And became a licensed health coach, really wanted to take it seriously in health. And I specialize in women who, and I have found it's everywhere, people who came from the background that I did, that their lives had gotten to this place where they were just being dismissed, and they were being told to sit in the corner and just don't make such a fuss and accept this diminished life that you have.
And I think that's the medical world, isn't it? My background, I actually worked for Pfizer for many years, which is quite interesting. No one had heard of Pfizer before the last 18 months, well, in the UK. But it turned me the other way, you know, like it turned me, I think either you love all that, you know, you love medicine, or you kind of, well, it turned me anti sort of medications. And in fact, recently my son, we ended up in hospital, and the doctor said, how could you not even had any painkillers yet? And I thought, well, that's like our lifestyle, that we only would have a painkiller in this emergency situation. We don't just take medications. You know, there's a risk benefit scenario with everything, and actually it's about having a different lifestyle, isn't it? Or doing things a bit more holistically, or like you say, mindset, a lot of mindset stuff around our well-being. It's not just about what we eat, but just happiness or content, you know, just and sleep,
mindfulness, being aware in our lives. I think modern medicine, too, the conventional wisdom is symptom management.
Exactly.
We're not curing anything, we're managing symptoms. For instance, everybody, well, not everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, a common belief is that when you take insulin as a diabetic, it fixes it. And it doesn't. It only throws water on a fire.
Exactly.
And it actually is the opposite of what fixes. I used to be diabetic. I'm no longer I was violently diabetic, being morbidly obese. Well, 3 pounds away from morbidly obese anyway. I was one good sandwich away from morbidly obese.
Good sandwich.
And but no, but
you're right.
Not making light of it, but I was very diabetic, and they wanted to give me insulin. I was on several different medications for it. And insulin management is all about keeping your blood sugar down. Like when your blood sugar's up, bringing it down. And that's not the root cause of diabetes. And diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is 100% curable, not just symptom treating.
Exactly.
But if you stop putting carbohydrates and sugars and processed foods into you, your body doesn't produce all of the insulin. And the thing about diabetes, it's an overproduction of insulin. People don't realize that it creates insulin resistance, meaning you've had so much insulin going into your body because you're putting so much glucose and carbohydrates and processed foods in your body that it's throwing insulin out there, and your body fills up with insulin. And insulin tells your body, store fat, because all the hormones, they have a message for your body. You know that, you know, it's like, do this, be hungry, don't be hungry, be depressed, be happy. You know, they're the orders. It's like the order system in your body, if you will. And insulin says, store fat. There's something terrible coming along, store some fat so you have some energy later on. That's insulin's job. And that comes from having tons of sugar, and insulin brings down the sugar. So the opposite of curing too much insulin is giving someone insulin, but that's what we do. Because it gives you that temporary symptom fix of the high blood sugars.
Exactly.
But
And it's like, but it's like a lot of pain medications is masking the symptom, isn't it? It's not
yeah,
working out the root cause and
yeah,
the solution.
yeah. And I've been on a lot of different painkillers with spinal collapse. You are on everything known to man. And people keep saying, why aren't you taking more pain medication? Well, first of all, pain medication does not stop the pain. You still feel the pain. Your body's still aware of pain, but your frontal lobe, it tells your frontal lobe not to care.
Yeah.
Who cares? Whatever, sleep. Just sleep.
Exactly.
And that's the order it gives you. And that doesn't work. And people wonder why, why don't you just take more? Well, pain has its purpose to a point of informing you that there's something wrong. That's pain's job. And if I, put my hand over pain and say, stop telling me all this pain. Well, then I don't know that I'm having problems, that I've, cut my foot or that I've broken my arm if there's no pain that informs me to go.
It should be a short-term thing, isn't it? It should be a short-term solution rather than anything long-term.
Well, there are people who have chronic pain syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody knows the difference between chronic and acute. Chronic just goes on and on and on, and it just is in your body. But if we look at what's causing the chronic pain and go to the cause rather than looking at it from the front, look at from behind, like chronic inflammation or acute inflammation might be a cause of chronic pain. There might be some modality of physical therapy or something that can help, or surgery that could help fix whatever pain that is.
Yeah.
And I've worked with a lot of people with chronic pain. It's one of my specialties. It's how I was introduced to mindfulness at UCLA when I was in spinal rehab for the first time. And I've been there, close to a dozen times in spinal rehab from all the different surgeries. They send you to rehab afterwards. And the first time this guy, I swear he looked 12 years old to me, he comes into my room and I just had spinal surgery where they went in from the front of my neck and like did all these things. And I have this halo thing on my head with the bolts in my hand. I'm sitting there and he's saying, I'm going to help you in your mind with mindfulness, move past pain. And I threw him out of the room. I'm like, get out of my room, you little moron. I can't think my way out of this. Get out of here. I was like, give me more painkiller. I was so mad. This little pipsqueak who comes in and says, oh, I'm going to help you think your way out of it. Like, oh, next time I looked into mindfulness a little bit more and I watched some TED Talks. I was like, oh, there's something to this, I guess. And the next time I was in rehab, the same guy said, can I come in? And I'm like, yeah, sure, come on in. And we talked a little bit more. And by the time I was at the end, I was taking the mindfulness mastering courses at UCLA and working my way through and quieting down my own chronic pain syndrome, which I will have for the rest of my life, but I know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I know when I need to go ahead and take painkiller if it is beyond what I can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I apply those mindfulness techniques also to regaining vitality and achieving a more sane relationship with food. After all these diets, we don't know what to eat or what works. We're even afraid to hope. It's like, you want me to diet again? And you tell your family and they're like, oh, Sheila's dieting again. I counted up. I mean, how many diets have you been on in your life? I mean,
I think we were talking about this. I was with another friend of mine, but that women just constantly are on different diets, aren't they, really?
And we're told that's normal.
Yeah.
Be on a diet. When you gain it, go on another one. And it's like,
exactly.
Wait a minute. If I fix my relationship with food and how I think about myself, and food only gets you part of the way there. It's all those other things in my program that work together as a holistic mind-body program that got me to where I got. And I have helped so many women to also get there. And I ask them, because they come at it with not a lot of hope. They're trying to hope just one more time. And I say, borrow my faith, borrow my belief that this happens. Look at me, look at my old pictures, look at me, insert old fat pictures of me here. my before and afters, which look like two completely different people. It's like, you can kind of tell it's the same person, but I look back, who's that? I say, just borrow my faith until you feel it yourself. And I will be with you every step of the way. Because I didn't have someone.
Yeah, exactly.
I wished I'd had like a big sister who could show me through.
Yeah. I like that. I like the borrow my faith. I think that's so true. I think that's great. But would you say, like, for people that could be listening to this, who could be struggling with a number of different things that we've talked about, was it really then when you were at rock bottom that what was that first step that you took? Obviously, you're here with your program that you can help people with, but anything that you want to share that is that first step when you've really got no hope at all, you just really, your back's against the wall, you're rock bottom. What was that first what made you keep going and take that step to find? I know it wasn't overnight, was it? But
no, I tell people that getting to rock bottom is kind of like we fall in love. It's very slowly, then all at once.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden, all at once. You look in the mirror beyond just this, and it's like, how the heck did this happen? And nobody wants to look that way. And the thing I want to share with people too is it's not your fault. There are so many societal, dietary, processed food, chemical reasons that get you to where you are, that cause your hormones to be off. And really, it's not your fault. It's not a matter of, willpower, or it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And once we remove that, we start working on some self-love and self-compassion. Do you know Dr. Kristen Neff?
Name rings a bell, but I'm not sure.
Neff. She literally wrote the book called Self-Compassion.
Okay.
And she has a website, self-compassion.org. It's free. You can go. She has a whole program, and it's mind-blowing. But my rock bottom was when my doctor said, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Just calories in, calories out, eat less, move more. All that stuff is such baloney. I'm like, do you see the electric wheelchair I'm in? What do you mean move more? What do you think? I got to join a gym and follow Jane Fonda and get, I'm in a chair. And they're like, well, figure it out. We throw up our hands. You must be eating. And my husband left. My husband at the time took off. Husband number 2 left me for one of my good friends and said, I'm tired of dealing with this. And he's off, remarried in this new life. And I was literally alone in a wheelchair, kind of crying in my Wheaties, going, I don't know what. And I came across a website, as we do at 3 a.m, looking through websites. And it gave me a little bit of hope. There was someone who had been on a similar journey. And I thought, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And I just took one part of what she did. And it was just that first step was so empowering. And I read everything that wasn't nailed down. And I took every online course I could take. And I made some missteps. I mean, I became a vegan for a while.
Surround yourself by other people that either have gone through that journey before you, or just that positivity. I think sometimes I think, what would we do without the online world? Because I did the same, when I was at rock bottom. It's like YouTube, isn't it? Or like social media. You find people that you're like, wow.
At 3 a.m. It's always at 3 a.m. I don't know what it is.
Always at 3 a.m. It's always at that. It's always at 3 a.m. But, and that's why I put this podcast together, because I thought by interviewing different people who have gone through different journeys, sharing different stories, that I have some amazing people that reach out to me and thank me for these interviews. And I feel like I'm just, I love it because I'm meeting people globally, and I don't even feel like it's kind of work. I'm feeling like I'm meeting people in the bar or like in a coffee shop and having a conversation and bringing these people to people.
Here's my good friend Anne. We're having a chat.
Exactly. But and that's what sort of feels empowering to me, that there's different people that will be listening to your story now and feeling inspired and feeling wanting to make those steps of change. So
and it's that freedom that you talk. It's freedom from the prison of it's your fault, fatty, you must be weak, you person who's not worth anything. Go sit in the corner, take this dismal life, this diminished life that we think you deserve. Go accept it and stop making such a fuss. And as women, we're told, don't make a fuss, don't make any noise, don't bother, don't be the squeaky wheel. And I said, screw that. I'm fighting for my life here. And my son, who's 33 this year, I can't believe, but he's 33. And I thought, and this was 10 years ago when I started this journey. And it took me a long time to figure it all out. But I thought, what kind of grandma do I want to be? Do I want to be the one in the wheelchair that you go visit in a home and the kids don't want to see grandma? Do we have to go see grandma in the home? And I really thought about what kind of grandmother I wanted to be. Who do I want to be for my son? Do I want to be a burden to him? And that was my rock bottom. It's like, do I want to be a burden?
Yeah.
And no. And once you figure something out, I don't know if you feel this way, but once you figure something out, you don't want to keep it to yourself.
No, exactly.
Right.
And it's also, it's things that have helped you that you think, well, actually, this can help. It's natural, isn't it? This can help other people, because I've kind of maybe gone the long way around, and I've kind of got this in my head now of how people can do X, Y, Z to get to, that outcome. So in fact, that's perfect, because I was going to ask you, if people are listening to this and are thinking, hey, this Sheila lady sounds fantastic, how can I reach out to her? How can she help me? So you
can find me at optimalhealthreboot.com.
Okay, brilliant.
optimalhealthreboot.com.
We'll put that in the show notes so everyone.
Thank you. And on there, you can see what other clients have gone through with their testimonials, the kind of changes, the kind of people that this has been helpful for. It's every possible type of woman on the planet. There's also an outline of what the program is like. It's a 12-week program. And that's the basis of it. But we start every program with a free coaching session to see, first of all, do we get along? Are you someone I want to work with? Am I someone you want to work with? And you talk about what your biggest health challenges are, what you're trying to achieve. And we map out what your program's going to look like. But the basis of it is generally a 12-week program, but it's not cookie cutter. We make it custom for what your needs are. Someone with lupus and spinal problems like me is different than the person who's trying to just get back to having an athletic body. I mean, those are two different programs, really. Same principles applied differently over a different amount of time, different amounts of one-on-one coaching versus group coaching. But there's an online curriculum. It's a very in-depth program, and it works with mindfulness. It works with intermittent fasting. It works with what food choices, ways to exercise. There's a new paradigm shift in exercising that does not include killing yourself. Like on Biggest Loser, that's so not even what it actually makes you gain weight. It's the authority. It's been revealed quite conclusively that is not good for you, that you can't exercise away that cupcake you had yesterday. It's not quite that transactional. It'd be really nice to say, okay, now go work off that cupcake, assign all of this energy to that cupcake, please. But it's really the people who are ready to make a change are my clients. The people who have had it and tried everything and feel hopeless and don't want to diet ever again. That they feel there has to be something better, a better way to live. This is not a diet. This is not something with cheat days and in 12 weeks it's over and then you can go eat cupcakes and ice cream again. It's not what it's about. But if someone's really ready to make a change for good, I'm your person.
Yeah, I love that.
Because I have been where you are. I've been there or worse.
Not right.
And I will be by your side every step of the way. And I only take a certain number of clients at once, and I really want to focus and help people.
Yeah, I love that.
I have some spots left open for my fall session that started in September, but we can have you jump in at any time. And you could be 30 pounds lighter by Christmas. We can make that happen. We can turn your life around by the holidays. It's possible.
Yeah, I love that.
But you have to be ready.
Exactly. You have to be in the right mindset for it, don't you? As in, you want to be ready to do it. You want to, it's not just about, oh, because I've had that with people that have come to me, that sometimes people think by buying something that they've done that job, but you've got to do the work and you've got to be committed.
Yeah.
You've got to...
Yeah. There are no shakes, pills, supplements, there's none of that extraneous stuff. It's all about real good quality food and lifestyle decisions done in a way. There's no calorie counting, no macro, there's none of that.
Yeah.
It's good cooking, good food, camaraderie with other women who are in the same boat as you. There's a really great community of women who support each other in your journey. And this is either going to fall on someone and they say, yes, I really want to change my life, or someone who says, maybe next year. And that's okay. I'll be here next year.
Exactly.
But the one thing I can tell you is there's no convenient time to change your life for the rest of your life. Exactly. There's no convenient, don't think I'll start next month after the kids get back to school, and I'll start, and in about a month it'll be after the holidays. It's like you just need to change, or you don't.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm here to tell you, it's a great place on the other side of this. It's fun and it's healthy and it's joyful. And I really love who I am and what I have to give the world. And
it sounds amazing.
That's waiting.
Yeah. It sounds amazing. I love your energy with it all. It just,
thank you.
You're so sincere, and just you sound so supportive to all the
I'm
people.
trying really hard not to cry. I'm a crier. So I'm trying really hard not to be all weepy on your show, Anne. It's not very British of me. If I cry, I have to be more composed than that. My mom's family's British, so I understand.
Oh wow.
They're from Nottingham.
Oh, Nottingham. That's not far from me, because I'm Worcestershire, which is like south of Birmingham.
Oh yeah.
They're not far.
Because
yeah. Whereabouts are you? You mentioned Beverly Hills. Are you where are you?
I went to UCLA and stayed in Los Angeles for 37 years by mistake. I didn't plan to stay there, but I'm up in Portland, Oregon now.
Right, okay.
My son lives up here, and he said, Mom, what are you doing down there? Come on up. And it's beautiful. The Northwest is so small town and lovely, and the people are very kind. But I really look like I'm from LA up here. I walk around, people, you're not from here, are you? No, I have makeup on. It's much more natural. People like see me like this exotic flower.
I love it.
But it's wonderful. The air is good, the environmental, everything's lovely. There's a real commitment to lifestyle, which really supports, the way I live now, much more so. Yeah.
And I was in the city, and we're in like a rural area now. So the back of my house, it's just like woods and fields and stuff. And
oh, how nice.
It's really nice. But then there's I'm really close to a town as well. So I've got the best of both, really. I'm not like on the stick. So it's perfect really because I've got two, well, I say young boys. They're growing up all the time. I've got a teenager now, 13 and 11. So
oh, wow.
They keep me busy.
My two stepsons were on either side of my son. So from the time they were very little, we raised them all together, and they're 1 year apart. So we had 11, 12, and 13. It went, that is just, how much testosterone's in the house with boys? I'm telling you, I thought I was going to start shaving by the end of their teenage years. It's in the air. It's just like,
It is totally.
Do you have any daughters at all?
I haven't, 2 boys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I did have a little dog. She was the only the female in the house, but she passed away, unfortunately. So we're now looking at new ones that we may get.
As they get older, the girlfriends and the wives become like your daughters you never had. They're very special to you. Yeah. So, yeah.
I've got all that to come. I was having conversations about girlfriends at the weekend.
Well, I grew up with a house full of sisters, so I'm used to being around a bunch of women.
Yeah.
And I help only women right now. I did have a group of men for a while, but I like focusing on women and having a group, because there is a group support aspect of it. And I like women to be able to share whatever intimate things they need to about their sex life, their love life, their hormones, what's going on with their bodies, in a very open and free environment. And I find that all women is a nice dynamic to have for the journey that they're on.
Yeah, that's very similar to me. And I think it is. It's just, I think it's not, I know I've had messages because I used to do coaching for men and women, and now I just focus on women. I've had all these like guys.
So you made that decision too.
Yeah, like, why are you doing this? Why are you excluding us? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh.
Well, I do one-on-one coaching with men, and a lot of times the men end up being the husbands of whomever I've helped, because they say, well, my wife's getting all these really great things going on. I'd like to, because it's usually the couple, they're both heavy usually.
That's nice.
It becomes kind of a family dynamic.
Yeah. Because
I've helped their children.
It's difficult when you even just started a business when your partner's not really involved in it. I think it's good to kind of do things together, or at least get the other person involved, isn't it? And especially when it's
men love it, because there's a lot of really good food and no counting portions or anything. So it's very man or family friendly. It's easy to do. It's not like you're being asked to go off and eat all these weird shakes and everything. It really is, you can sit down and enjoy a meal with your family and just with no abandon, have fun with it.
Brilliant. So anyone listening to this, then we will put Sheila's details all in the show comments if you're listening on iTunes, and also in the comments section.
Yes. And if you let me know that you came from Anne's podcast, we'll take 20% off the program.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Just tell me that that's where it came from, and I will let you know, and we'll send you some testimonials from your listeners and give you credit for introducing us.
Love it. Love it.
How's that?
So, yeah. So everybody reach out to Sheila who feels inspired, because I think sometimes you just feel like, don't you? When you listen to something, you know. So if you're thinking, my gut's saying reach out, then do reach out, because I'm sure Sheila will have a chat with you and work out whether it's for you or not.
Yeah, and we will make the investment that people have to make. They're worried about that, but we'll make it work. I make it work for people, so I don't want that to be a hindrance for people either. But if you let me know, if you let me know that you came from here, just say I listened to Anne's podcast and I want this freedom that you're talking about, that Anne and I share as something very powerful in our lives, and you'll have a 20% discount on the program, which is great.
Great stuff.
It's a nice discount.
Yeah, love it. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me on.
So I always ask everybody at the end of the podcast, what does freedom mean to you? And I love this because recently I celebrated my first birthday of the podcast. And what we did was we took all the edits of different people's answers to this question.
Oh, how
and
great.
had them all after each other. And it's really
I'd love to see that. Oh, that would be great.
It was interesting to hear the differences of what everybody answers to this question. So
is that up on the podcast where I can, I'll have to go look that up afterwards.
Yeah, I'll send it you after.
Oh, that would be great.
But what does freedom mean to you, Sheila?
Freedom to me means being able to live your life in the way that you choose without being asked to settle for that diminished life that someone else thinks that is appropriate for you. You live your own life, your way, and make the investment in yourself in a way to make that happen, because you don't have to have that diminished life. That's someone else's idea of your life, not yours.
Yeah, I like that. It's like your way, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's your life. What are you living someone else's idea of it for?
Exactly. But we do, don't we? It's society that gives us that pressure.
Mm-hmm. And especially as women. Yeah, don't make a fuss. Yeah, go live that life.
Yeah, no, love that. Brilliant. Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you. So nice chatting with you.
Yeah, love it. And
look forward to seeing you again. And I'm launching my podcast soon, and I'd like to invite you to be a guest for me. I'd love to keep this conversation going. I'd love to hear all your story on my podcast as well.
Love it. Great stuff.
Good. You heard it here, people. She promised to be.
Yeah, I will be on there. Keep me posted. And
I will.
Great to connect with you. Really good to connect with you.
Thanks so much. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And if you want to get more freedom in your life, then come and join Your Freedom Project Facebook group, which the link is below in the comments section. And I am giving you a copy of my visualization manifesting book. So manifest more freedom in your life and live the life of your dreams.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mine. Love, money, mine. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey.